Well, I've decided before I put the scope on, I'm going to throw some BBs through it. One of the reasons I bought this particular rifle is it does have a rifled barrel, and for my money that's a pellet rifle rather than BBs, but I do want to shoot some BBs through it just to see what the difference is. The BBs load in right here. You just push that down and you can drop in up to 50 BBs, and then you close it. Again, after you've pumped it up with the breech open, you tip the gun up at a 45-degree angle, which will let a BB roll down. It then gets caught up by a magnet at the end of the piston that shoves it up into the barrel. Let's see how this shoots with some BBs. Okay, obviously I've changed targets, but I put 5 BBs through the gun. Found out that you have to pull the breech back before you pump, as I stated before. And in doing that, if you're holding the gun at a 45 with the barrel up, it'll automatically put a BB right at the end of that piston, so you really don't have to worry about it. BBs feed into the gun obviously much quicker than pellets, but if you'll notice, 2 shots here and then out in here. So 2 out of the 5 were almost right on where I wanted them to be, and again, that's not changing the sights, just switching from pellets to BBs. So for my money, I'm very pleased with the accuracy of the gun. Now we're going to put the scope on. Well, I decided that before I put the scope on, I'd throw a couple of shots without using the rest. As you can see right here, there's 2 shots there and 1 over here. That's just holding the gun up against my shoulder. I can certainly live with that. Okay, now we're going to mount the scope. There are no instructions in the Daisy for mounting the scope, but there are instructions within the scope package as to how to mount it, but obviously it's very, very simple. Loosening these 2 screws, it goes right onto the raised dovetail on the receiver, and then it's just a matter of sliding it forward to back so that it fits your eye when you're holding the gun. So I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll take a look at it when we're done. Okay, I've now got the scope mounted on the gun. It was a relatively easy process to do. It takes a while to get the clamps and everything to get into the dovetails where you want them. But now that it's on, I don't know if you can tell from this picture or not, I guess just by the nature of this gun and this scope, it is tilted to the left. But they do say in the instructions, if the reticles are not perpendicular, that you can rotate the reticle, and you do that by loosening these 2 screws and turning the reticle so that the reticle is perpendicular and vertical to your target. So I'll try that. Okay, I'm to the point now where the scope is on the rifle. I'm back to shooting pellets, and as you can see by this picture, it consistently shot a pattern that is quite a bit to the right and a little bit high. Again, this is without adjusting the scope at all, just getting it mounted on the gun and firing 3 test shots. So I'll do a little tweaking with the scope and see how we do. Okay, after some minor tweaking on the scope, the first time I turned everything the wrong way and went even further out. I learned my lesson and brought the pattern back in. So it looks like I've still got to come down just a touch and move over to the left, and I should be putting them right in the bullseye. Okay, after tweaking the scope a little bit, I'm putting a pretty tight pattern in right here. The closest I've come is right in here, so a little more tweaking, a few more shots, I should be right on. So this has taken me about 2 hours total to take the gun right out of the box and getting it shooting very accurately, both with the iron sights and the scope. And as far as target shooting is concerned with pellets, I'm very impressed with the accuracy. And even when we were shooting with the BBs, these are BB shots, not with the scope, but these were some BB shots that we took. Actually, some of these are through and through from the other target, but these are 2 shots my wife took just shooting offhand with pellets before I had the scope on. So again, I'm very pleased with the gun. The only thing that I found is that number one, the pellets are hard to load. I definitely suggest investing in a pair of tweezers to be able to load the pellets. And when you do switch from BBs to pellets, You want to make sure that not only do you get all of the BBs out of the magazine, but 4 or 5 of them end up in the feeder tube, and you need to make sure that you get all of those out before you return to pellet shooting.